So if you've bought the NT and you do a commute where you've got a few twisties, how is it when you're actually trying to just ride a bit spiritedly on your morning commute? So this route I've got, there's a fair few little twists and bends. It is all nationals. The problem is I've got 3 vehicles in front of me which are seriously going to hinder my progress. But as a commuting so far, it is really, really good. I mean, I've had a lot of traffic to work through this morning and I've not slowed down at all. The bike picks up very nicely, catches up with traffic really well. It does feel really short and really small to move about, which is another fantastic bonus this bike comes with. It's got 820mm seat, so putting your foot down in traffic, it is pretty much a 1 foot job for me. I definitely cannot fit 2 feet down. Got 101 brake horsepower, 104 newton meters of torque, and it catches up. It's just it pulls like the Africa Twin. Throw it into corners nicely, leans well, although I am struggling with the traffic we've got here. Well, we've got no chance of an overtake there. Taking the bike to work, you've got good luggage storage. The top box is an optional extra, but the panniers can definitely fit an average amount of luggage in for your daily commute. The windscreen, I have put this in the taller position earlier, and I didn't find it a problem at all. It gave me great wind protection. Slightly looking through it, which I'm not a fan of, but it wasn't the be all and end all. It was okay, but I can imagine if it is raining, you're definitely going to get some good wind and rain protection from this screen. I have noticed the wind mirrors do vibrate ever so slightly, which is slightly frustrating when you're trying to look at what's behind you. It does make it a little bit annoying. You've got to kind of clutch it in a little bit just to get that shake off. I'm gonna have to pick up, see how easy it is to catch up with these 2 cars up front. There we go, caught them with no problem at all. Alright, they're probably doing about 40 and I was on the limit, 60, and yeah, we're doing 40. But for the morning commute, you really can't go wrong. The NT, I genuinely am liking this bike. It feels very Africa Twinny, which isn't a bad thing because the Africa Twin is a fantastic bit of kit. Clear left, clear right. Acceleration wise, it's in high power mode. Here we go. Traction control kicked in. I've never actually had traction control kick in on the Africa Twin, so that's quite new. That really did kick in. I'm pretty sure I put the traction control on like 1 last night when I picked this bike up. Let's have a look. Yeah, traction control's on 1. Never mind. The road's very, very dry. I don't really see any issues why that would have pinged on. So we might have to try another one of those later. Yeah, if you're looking for a bike that can do all and you have no intention of going off-road, the NT is definitely a fantastic little bike. So little bike, it feels really small, which is another big bonus of it. Obviously coming from the AT, you feel like you're an absolute monster. You head over to the NT, it does feel like a stubby little bike, but it looks really futuristic from the front. I haven't tried this in the hours of darkness yet, so I can't give you a good feedback on what the actual the lights are like at night. However, during the day they look pretty menacing. I'd prefer a lot more light at the front of the bike. Now no doubt if I go into the presets, yeah, I can turn it on auto, so I'm going to dismiss that, go going to enter it. Right, so I don't want auto headlights, I just want them on. So these now should be on permanently. Anyway, so that is the Commute 2 work. I'll cut the camera there. Okay, so this test I'm going to do on the NT is how is it as a commuter bike at filtering through heavy traffic. As you can see, we've got a lot of morning rush hour traffic. Just going to slowly make my way through and see how we get on. So far I've actually filtered through a heavy amount of traffic and the bike has performed really well. It's relatively slim when you actually try to filter. The panniers haven't caused me any issues. It's pretty much, well, from my own point of view, if I can get my wind mirrors and my handlebars through, I don't have to really think too much about the panniers. This is the first time I've actually heavily filtered in this bike, and already I'm not bothered by it. So if you are going to be using the NT as a everyday commuter bike, you are definitely not going to have a problem with it. It's just, look, I mean, okay, granted this is a very wide amount of filtering, it's still not caused me any bother at all. Right, so the final commute back down to Crescent Honda. Had the bike 24 hours now, and I am thoroughly impressed with the NT. I keep going to call it the Africa Twins. As soon as I look down I just see Africa. But yeah, it is a really nice bike. I have moved the windscreen up as well, and just in the 60 back there, it was actually giving me good wind protection. This isn't in its highest setting, it can still go a little bit higher, but I didn't want to go too high to start with. Thought I'd keep it at a mediocre setting. Now it is, like I was saying earlier, really annoying that you can't actually adjust the windscreen on the go. You have to be stationary basically, because you've got to hold on to it, pull it, lift it, shimmy it down. But you can actually drop it when you're on the go. Just hold on to it and give it a good shove down, and it will drop. Same setup as the CBF 6000, which isn't the most attractive looking, but it's still very functional. Function over fashion, I think Honda went on that. Nevertheless, it has Android and Apple CarPlay. Now I did find out on the Africa Twin why I can't get it working, and it seems like it is a Samsung issue. Another Android device worked no problem, and the iPhone worked no problem at all. So when I get back to Honda in a minute, I'll give this a plug-in and see if it works. Hopefully it works, then it isn't my phone, it's the Africa Twin. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. But from an owner's point of view, I think if you're after a touring bike and you want to stay Honda, the NT is definitely worth a go. I don't really know what else I can say about this bike. It does the job. Yes, you've got to pay extra for a top box, which I think in this day and age, if you're getting a sports touring bike, ideally you should have all three boxes as standard. The bikes are expensive, so just throw in the rest of the kit. Heated grips work fine. Like I was saying, 820mm seat height, comfortably putting your feet on the ground 1 foot at a time. Definitely can't fit 2 feet at once. Wind protection is very good. The handling as well, it's very light to move about. Very light. As soon as you start turning, the bike is instantly reacting with your body input. So if you are going to start some twisties and you do want to really get behind the bike, you've got a bike that is going to react very well with you. I've obviously changed the display setting already to the night mode, the dark mode. You can do it on auto, so as soon as it starts getting dark or you go through a dark area of shade, the screen will dim down and will flip between daylight mode and night mode. I just prefer the night mode, to be honest. I genuinely think that the day mode, the white screen back end, looks cheap. Now as for these wind deflectors down the bottom, I cannot tell you if they do a job or not. They're there. I think it makes the bike look a little bit better. I personally go for black, if you can get black on them. For the Africa Twin, they're about £58 just for 2 bits of plastic, which in the grand scheme of things I don't think it's that expensive. But yeah, left foot completely flat footed, clutch pulling away is nice, good clutch control with this bike. It is an easy clutch to operate, it's not heavy, just got the right amount of tension in it that you can feel that you've got the clutch working. The gear select is very, very nice. Give it a good push down, pull up, clunks in lovely, you know you selected your gear, you can hear it clunking as well. Doesn't sound cheap, it sounds firm. It obviously comes with the sun visor for the TFT, so if you've got any sunlight directly in front of you, or directly above you, you're not going to get too much interference with that glaring off the screen. The black sets it off nicely. It obviously comes in the black, the grey and the white. I would stay well clear of the white personally. I just think it looks cheap. The black and the grey are the ones that I would definitely consider buying. I think if I was to be given the option now of taking one, it would be the black model. I mean, the pickup of the bike as well, it really does pick up lovely. Very responsive on the throttle. That seat still though, that seat is fantastic. It is so comfortable. I probably would go for a smoked windscreen on this, I think. There's got to be an aftermarket smoked windscreen, or even the option from Honda. Second gear, just pull it in nicely, leans in, yeah, accelerates away. It really does handle. I mean, it's got 101 horsepower and 104 newton meters of torque. It's not going to set the world on fire with the power that it's got. However, for the road, where obviously really you can only do 70, it's got ample power. If we do a roll on 40 miles an hour to 50 in 6, let's see what this feels like. Oh, the bike didn't like that. It felt like a bag of nails. It really felt like it was about to fall apart. I think that chain was slapping around. It done it. Obviously every bike will do it, but it didn't like it. Now what would make this bike perfect? If you were to buy this bike to turn it into the perfect motorcycle for everyday use and also commute, also long distance, get a top box. All day long, get a top box. That will make your life so much easier. If your commute is through heavy traffic where the roads are relatively narrow, I would lose the panniers and I would just rely solely on a top box. But then you've also got the option of, you can throw the top box on, throw the panniers on, put a tent across the rear seat, and you can go on a long road trip across whatever continent you buy the bike for. So I think I'll wrap up my review there of my thoughts of the NT1100. Thank you for watching Rev Solutions. Ride safe until next time. Take care and I'll see you soon.